Yo, what's going on, people? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Saeed TV. And we are live for Evening Vibes, talking all things Manchester United. And we have some gentlemen today with me, the older gentlemen. You know what I mean? The young bucks too loud, man. You know what I mean? Like I'm getting a bit on now. And the young bucks are too loud, too much energy. We need to have some realism, some real football chat. We got Mr. B here. How are you, Mr. B? All good? Still got the Ten Hag. You know what I
Listen,
mean? It's
listen,
still there, right? Believe in your
listen,
manager.
listen. I told you, man. I'm hoping that a lot of people have now drifted to the light side instead of taking to the dark side. But if they don't, and it's me one come the end of the season, it's no
Yeah.
headache. I'll take that. I'll be the only one riding these coattails, man. No problem at all.
Come on, man. Big up, man. Big up, man. We got Yaba. How are you, man? Everything all good? Good to see you. Been a while on the channel as well, man. So, how you been, man?
Yeah, thanks for the invitation, man. Nice to be here. I'm part of Man United Agenda with Mr. B, and I
Yeah.
agree with Mr. B. He represents well when we talk about Ten Hag. I know you got a bit of a reputation, Saeed, for letting your emotions out a lot of the time. It was nice to see the other side of it, skinning teeth the other day when we won and beat Liverpool, and
Yeah.
I know that means a lot to you, And
Yeah.
it's a great time to be a fan. This week we've been buzzing non-stop. I just can't stop talking about it. And I thought the title of the show would be talking about the game, but obviously we're moving on to other stuff. So let's go on with it.
Yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. And it's the next day. It's the 20th of March in Australia. Not for us just yet, but how are you, man? How's Australia doing? How's it going over there?
It's good, bro. It was hot as like it feels like the middle of summer at the moment. So, but yeah, doing good, man. Still buzzing from the weekend. Yeah, it's a good time to be a United fan.
Yeah, absolutely. But it may not be a good time. Obviously, we'll talk about it in a sec, but please do hit the like button. That'll be amazing. You know, what I mean, get your comments in if you want to discuss things. You know, what I mean, get your comments in, get your chats in, or whatnot. And yeah, let's get straight into it, man. We've got some news today regarding Southgate, and that is that if Eric Ten Hag were to be sacked, Man United can convince Southgate to quit England. That is the latest we're hearing today. A report came out today, and it followed by some other report as well, basically saying Eric Ten Hag has still much to do to convince INEOS that he is the man to take the club forward. So Dave Brailsford, a senior player in the new Old Trafford regime, and Dan Ashworth regard Southgate as a favoured candidate to step into any managerial vacancy this summer. Well, listen, if he did one thing today to please the Man United fans, it was giving Kobe Mainu his first England senior call-up. But how are we thinking about this one? I'll start off with you, Ange. Southgate, does he appeal to you? Is he a better upgrade? Is he an upgrade on the manager, first of all? Is he an upgrade on Eric Ten Hag? Ange, talk to us.
Yeah, I think it would be. I'm going to surprise you. I think it'd be
What?
an upgrade on Ten Hag. Like from a communication perspective and like building a culture, building a team, I think he's an upgrade on Ten Hag. But I still don't think he's the right choice. I don't. The thing is, I think Mark Ogden that reported it. Like it's from ESPN. Yeah, it's like fairly reliable. Like it's not 100. It's not the Athletic, but I think where it might have legs, where it might be true, is I think they want somebody that they can mold into their own, like Sir Dales Rasford, Sir Jim Ratcliffe. I was listening. He did a podcast today with some cycling.
Yeah. We'll touch on that. Yeah, we'll touch on that as well. Yeah, he did.
I was listening to him on that pod. I listened to the whole thing. He's very like he knows his football really well. Really well. He was talking about how even City was struggling when they had De Bruyne and Haaland out. Like he knows it. Like he watches it all the time. You can tell. There's even videos of him like 10 years ago talking about Scholesy and why when he came back out of retirement. Like he knows he's a big football fan. Like he's not just a rich billionaire that wants to own a team. He knows his football inside out. But where it might be true is that maybe they want to mold somebody in their own like idea, in their own vision. And somebody like Southgate might be really great. Like I'm sure he'd be easy to mold. He won't have his own. He won't be stuck on his own principles like a De Zerbi or whatever. He can be molded into something that they want for the long term. but ultimately, I just don't think he's tactically good enough. Like he has. When you watch the England team play, when they lose control of the game, he just leaves it. He doesn't. Think about that final against Italy, the Euro final. England were losing control of that game. He didn't make any changes and they ended up losing that game. And he was really defensive. But he wouldn't be my choice. But he'd be better than Ten Hag.
Big up Zamia says Southgate can't compete with Arteta. Big up Arsenal fan there. You know what? Big up to you, man. Munjib is not having it. He said, what the F are you talking about? Southgate, worst coach in the history of football. Angie's opinions rejected. Wow. This is what we're here for, man. We have to have a debate, man. Personally, for me, yeah, when he came on the scene, yeah, I thought it was a breath of fresh air. I thought everybody was like, wow. 2018, that team that he molded got to the semi-final. But what happened was, yeah, his tactics got expired. And he got found out. Then he became pragmatic. Then he became defensive-minded, started playing back five, started playing back seven. That's the problem, what happened. And then people clocked onto him that really and truly is kind of like, he's been found out, basically, innit? I mean, he's not a very, very good coach, and that's what it is, So when I look at it, for me, I don't think personally it's upgrade. But INEOS are going to do their thing, man. They're not going to think what the fans think. One thing they've done though, they've always made the fans second guess, things that have happened. So I mean, Yaba, does it? Do you look pleased there? I mean, I know Ten Hag's your guy, but are you not part of the new regime, INEOS? If they want this, are you backing it? What are you saying?
Well, for starters, they're more qualified than me. They know what's a good manager is. All I'm going to say from my point of view, I've been on a high all weekend. We beat Liverpool, and this is a good way to blow my buzz. There's always something that comes along that just drops you on your face. And I'm thinking, when I'm hearing this news, I'm thinking, what's going on? Why is this guy, why are they talking? We should be talking about Eric Ten Hag, endorsing him, saying positive news about him with everything he's been through. I mean, this club is going to, if you haven't got grey hair, you're going to get grey hair. If you've got hair on your head, you're going to lose your hair. Poor Ten Hag, he's got no hair anyway, so I don't know what he's going through right now. He's got to get wrinkles, all kind of thing right now. It's a stressful job, and you get a great game, you deliver like that, get into the semi-final, and then you're hearing news like that, big news in the media. But I will say this about Southgate. I think he's been out in the wilderness for a long time in international football. You guys both spoke brilliantly about his tactics. There's always a question mark about him, especially at club level. He didn't really deliver. I think it's such a long time ago. I think it was at Middlesbrough, but I've been around him. I've seen him a few times around with young players and all that. Talks really well. A good ambassador for the FA and a bit of I don't know, without being disrespectful, but a puppet, a yes man. Brian Clough was one of the greatest English managers ever, and he never got the England job because he wasn't a yes man. He wasn't an FA guy, So I think Southgate is that guy. I wouldn't want to see someone like him stepping into Manchester United based on what he's delivered so far. Go and win the Euros like he did a couple of years ago. Well, should have won a couple of years ago. You've got a great, pool of players to play with. Work with them. Do something special. I know look, I'm not going to disrespect it. We got to the semi-final. We got to a final. Something we haven't done since 1990 or 66 before that. So he has got something to do with it. But I just think the way we've developed at St. George's in recent years, a bit like France, they developed, they had a strategy to get success. We're doing that now. We see the talents coming through. Phil Foden's, the Kobe Mainus, I'm delighted he gets a call up. So there's a lot of talent at the moment, and I'm sure any of us could get together and create a sort of a room to formulate a good tactical setup for this side. Easy to pick a team. There's so many great players. I just don't feel Southgate deserves, even though he's done well with international level, it's out in the wilderness. I don't think he deserves to be put into a big club like Man United straight away based on what he's done internationally. That there's two different styles there. You cannot do that. He needs to get more credibility for me, and he hasn't got that from what he's done so far, despite him going far in tournaments.
Yeah, you know what's mad as well? His club career is quite shambolic, man. Middlesbrough. I know he got to did he get to the final? I think was it the final of the what you call UEFA Cup? That was about it. You know what I mean? And then he kind of stayed on the bewilderment of the kind of the FA and whatnot. Didn't really do much. England, it's not a bad record to be honest with you. You got the Euros, He got to the semi-finals of the World Cup. It's not a bad record, but ultimately he's a nailing man, isn't it? You know what I mean? He's a bottler. You know what I mean? There was certain tactics. I know, Andrew, you're talking about, yeah. I know you're trying to defend it a little bit, but when you look at it, it's a serial bottler, man. If that was Pochettino, we'd be looking at Pochettino the same way, but we can't look at that same way with Gareth Southgate. Why not? You know what I mean? Man's a nailing man.
I'm only saying that he's better than Ten Hag. That's the only thing I'm saying. I'm not saying he should be Man United manager. I'm saying,
Is he, though? Is he? No,
how is he not better than Ten Hag?
No, he's
How
not
is he not better than Ten Hag?
And because for me, Ten Hag tactically is a better manager than Southgate. It's just that right now,
Are we sure about that?
Lens of how, yeah, but because listen, he's not playing the Ajax way. That's why we're not seeing it. He's bottled it at Man United. Ten Hag has bottled it, really. Let's be honest. Now, he's not playing the Ajax way. But really and truly, we're not seeing the fruits of what really is the Ajax football at United because he doesn't want to do it. Whereas had we seen it, he'd actually be a good coach.
No, but we get exploited for space. How much space do we always? We've been leaving space under Ten Hag for months and months. That is on him, and that shows he hasn't been able to fix a glaring issue in our team for so long. I don't think. Yeah. I think he's tactically overrated. I think because he came from Ajax, we assume that he's like this tactical, really smart guy that knows his stuff. I think we're assuming too much with Ten Hag, way too much.
You see where Ajax are now. Ten Hag's not there, right?
They lost all their best players.
They lost all their best players every year.
No, not under Ten Hag. They did lose them. Actually, they did lose, but they haven't been able to replace.
So you talk about replacing. So when Ten Hag, they didn't win anything a little while before he came in. He came in 1-1-1-1 with Ajax. The next manager comes in into a winning situation, and they've done nothing. Didn't he get sacked halfway through the season? It's now got to the stage where they've got Henderson as their central midfielder. So the club's in a mess. Why is it in a mess? Because
it is in a mess. So they lost their director of football just before Ten Hag left. Overmars. Obviously, they lost Martinez. Remember Tadic left as well. He was like their best
every year. You think Ten Hag?
But the amount they lost, they were never able to adequately replace them. But he might be better than the managers that they've replaced them with. I'm just saying what I've seen. I'm judging him on the 2 years that we've seen because we don't need to look at anything else. We have first-hand experience of him managing our football club, and there's no better experience than we get to listen to all his press conferences. We get to watch all these games. You know, all these substitute changes. We know Ten Hag intimately as a manager now. Yeah, like we have first-hand experience, and I haven't been impressed. I was excited by the signing. I've been like even for example, play like Ahmad. How is he not giving a player like that a chance? Where the guy basically took Man United off his profile, and he's been playing.
Why did he take Man United off his profile? Why did he alter his profile picture?
Because he apparently said it's for religious reasons. He did it for religious reasons. Yeah.
You understand?
But I think there's a little bit of him upset. There might have been a little. That's how kids.
Yeah, it could be as well. Yeah, it could
kids communicate that way these days. That's how kids communicate. If you look at the NFL, if the players don't get a contract or whatever, they start to do passive aggressive stuff online on social media. Regardless, he never gave him a chance. Like there've been players rotting in, like Palestri. So his ability to manage the squad hasn't been great. His tactically, we've been awful. His communication, I haven't been impressed. Honestly, I haven't been. We've had.
Yeah.
What was
that? The right level of it's about for me who do we bring in next, and I don't think it's Southgate. That's the main thing anyway. The main thing is
that's true.
Bring in somebody who, like I said, the right man. And Southgate isn't. Let's be honest. Southgate isn't the right man. Let's be totally brutally honest. But you just never know with INEOS, man. You know what I mean? Like you don't know what they're gonna do. You don't know their next step. Mr. B, as much as you got the guy on your wall there, Ten Hag, you don't know the next steps, man. He might think, you know what, I'm not really feeling this. You know what I'm saying? You got to run straight, by the way.
It may well be. It may well be, but football's about winning. Football's about getting trophies. We won a trophy last year. We have an opportunity to win a trophy this year.
Yeah.
So 2 trophies in 2 years, just saying, and he's still got to go. when everything around him was a complete and utter mess. You understand? So when the house is in order, they got the wallpaper up, they got the garden done, and all he has to do is come down, sit down, open up his laptop and work out things. He doesn't have to worry about the gardener. He doesn't have to worry about the plumber. He doesn't have to worry about the electrician. You understand? He just comes in and does his thing. And this one, he needs the time to do his complete mess. Jose, when Jose said his best achievement was us finish second, we as a fan base were mad. What do you mean? What do you mean? Now, it's been explained that there was bare chaos going on around him. That's why he said he was second. There's been chaos since Fergie left.
Yeah, but he's been in control of the chaos, though. He's been a part of the. He's been one of the reasons for this chaos, for the lack of the recruitment that's been led by him. You know what I mean? The tactical element of it, the way that we're exposed, like Andrew said, a lot of it is been down to him. It's like having the tools, yeah. And you come to the house and thinking, bloody hell, man, what have you wasted with all that money, man? You know what I mean? Imagine I give you £100, man. I told you to go and get me some shopping, and you came out with a loaf of bread. I gave you £100, man, Mr. B. And what do you spend it on? You know, let's be real. So that's where, for me, it comes down to. Go on, you're going to disagree with me there. Go on,
hold on. There's got to be some structure in place. You're blaming Ten Hag. Like Mr. B said, we come into a house that's on fire, burning down. He's come out, he's putting out the fires, and he's bringing some discipline back. When you build from the bottom, you know? As they say in the Bible, you build your house on rock, not on sand. And it takes time to lay those foundations. And Ten Hag, you might not see what he's doing right now, but all this talk about, oh, next manager, we want someone else in. Let's just stick with the man who's doing the job right now. You know, you might not see, we have to have foresee into the future and see, okay, we want change now. We're not happy with what's going on. But to get that change, you have to take a couple of steps back, fix up what's going on in the background. There's a lot of stuff we can speculate about that we don't see. You talk about Ahmad there, brother, about why he's not playing Ahmad. Well, he's brought in Garnacho, he's brought in Kobe. He definitely knows about young players. He's a disciplinarian. When at Ajax, he's got a lot of young players coming through, and they listen to him. Here at Man United, it's a different ball game. He's got a strategy. He tried to put it in place, and maybe the players aren't listening to him, the senior players, and maybe he needs to filter them out. And we can bring in players, as we do. That's our ethos, isn't it? To bring young players through, bring them through with the right attitude. Obviously, I was a bit upset about Zidane Iqbal. I thought he was a talented player, but I don't know about his characteristics. I don't know whether he's got the right reference. You know, he's brought in Anthony. I mentioned this the other day. Everyone's disrespecting Anthony, but maybe Anthony's got a good character reference. This is what we need. Maybe he's a winner. Maybe he's fighting for the club. You might have seen.
Do you rate Anthony? Do you rate him, though? What do you think, though?
I'm suggesting to you that maybe he's got character. Maybe he's a winner. When he scored the other day, everyone was going off. He was kissing the badge. He's probably a winner in the changing room. There's stuff. There's elements about playing in the football club.
He was crying after the game. He was crying.
Crying with joy.
Yeah, with joy. Now with joy, he's been through a lot. Like there's rumors that we want to sell. He's one of those players that reads everything, you know. But like he'll read all the aggregator accounts. He'll have them all on Brazilian translation. He'll read them all, and he'll feel everything he sees. And then you see it on the pitch because he's very emotional. He's crying. He's pointing to the badge, saying United are number one, and obviously his performances have been terrible, and he gets criticised a lot. People mock him for only being, using his right foot or his left foot.
But has he folded with the criticism at a big club like Man United? Certain players don't have the capacity to deal with that. He hasn't folded. Maguire hasn't folded. We got characters. We might not see it. We got characters around the club.
You don't reckon they haven't folded? You don't reckon I reckon they fold. Their performances have been terrible.
They might have been terrible, but they haven't folded, they haven't collapsed. Wilfred Zaha, he came along, he folded, he couldn't handle it. There's certain players who haven't got the mental capacity.
Fair, he weren't given opportunity. He weren't really given an opportunity.
Certain players like that.
I've got a quick super chat here from LFC Saeed. Ajax players play same way before Ten Hag, and Eric Ten Hag doesn't have any system, and he has had better players there in Ajax. He's not a good coach. That's coming from a Liverpool fan there. You know what I'm saying to you? I believe he was a good coach at Ajax, but he's catfished us. You know what I mean? I believe he's lied on his CV. You know when you get your the Indeed, and you basically, I've done it before. Everyone's guilty of it. You go on there, you act like you're a good communicator, you're a good this, you're a good that, and then you end up coming to the job and you don't really have the minerals. I always look at what we're seeing right now is we need everyone back. We need this player back. We need that player back. You know what I mean? I feel like the goalposts keep moving. I think for me, respectfully, he's going to stay to the end of the season. And then at the end, I think he'll be moved on. I really do. I don't see INEOS gambling on a in and out situation. You know, they don't
Regardless
want
of
that.
what he does, regardless of what he does, you think he's gone. Nothing keeps him in his job for you.
No. Well, we're happy with Van Gaal. Remember Van Gaal got the FA Cup. See you later.
But he was a dead man walking long before that. To be fair, I don't
Was
think
he though? Was he though? It was only because Mourinho came about. It was Mourinho. It was like, whoa! Like they got excited. They got, they seen the star, the name. It was like Mourinho. We got to bring in Mourinho. And for them lot, they're thinking we need to bring in a manager who's available. Because you got to remember, yeah, as much as you feel right now, I might think to myself in life, yeah, this decision, I can't take the risk. But later on down the line, you're gonna be thinking, oh man, I regret this, And that's why maybe INEOS might feel about, you know what? There's a lot of managers available this summer. And you cannot afford to miss out on that manager just because you believe he may be a better coach with structure, i.e. Ten Hag. You may think that, but ultimately you may think, you know what? I've just got to make a decision. And I feel like the way he's been talking in interviews, he's very meticulous, though. One thing about this guy, he's got a lot of attention to detail, this Sir Jim Ratcliffe. If you watch his interview, man's talking about the next Mbappe. I'm like, broski, yo, man's talking about the next Mbappe, Rah. Like, man's like, he can, he's looking at the next steps. So for me, I like that visionary. I like someone who's meticulous about their job. Obviously, it's easy to talk the talk. You have to still walk the walk. But I feel like, FA Cup. You know what I mean? Do you believe we're getting Champions League football, by the way? Yeah, Yabba and Mr. B, you think we're getting Champions League football?
We'll get fifth. Whether or not it gets Champions League football, I don't know all of this coefficients. My thing is fourth in it. If we can sneak in through the back door, great. We'll take it. But I don't think we get fourth. I don't think we get
sneak through.
We don't get fourth. I mean, look, it has to be sneak through. The season's been a mess.
Yeah,
the season's been a mess. But if we still manage to, the aim of it, beginning of the season, qualify for Champions League and win a trophy. Yes. If we still do that, there's still going to be people, regardless of what's happening.
But also, what was your aims, though? What was your aim at the start of the season? Though? Was it to play better brand of football? Was it to progress as a team? Was it to have a higher goal difference? What was the aim, though? There was like layers to it, though. You know what I mean? We can all say position and whatnot, but there was surely layers to what your kind of thinking towards the season was, surely.
Yeah, agreed. I did expect us to play better, and we say injuries, and injuries don't count, but Martinez has been out for the whole season, man. He's our best defender. You know what I mean? Just it's positions that we've lost that have affected the way that we played. Mainu broke up Declan Rice in pre-season. You know what I mean? We saw it. The Arsenal, it's pre-season. He missed how much games? The first 3 months of the season. He's coming. He's now getting a call up, and he's destroying full internationals. He had that. He had Mainu ready to go pre-season and lost him again. That's another drop off. Martial, boy, we had a striker. Hoyland come with a Brock back. So I just think that there was so much mitigating. Yes, I understand that. We play with big holes. I get that. I understand he hasn't learned about the Premier League technically, but again, it will not divert the fact that I feel that he needs time. He just needs get his players in fit and be able to play the way that he would. I mean, look, Martinez and Maguire, there's no comparison. Mainu and I don't even know who was played ahead of Mainu. You understand? Who was played in Mainu comes in. He's first name on the team sheet. So there's a lot of things, you look at no. He's now got bones in his fingers. He's able to save things. The first 3 months of the season, he played with chocolate wrist. So a lot of things have moved forward. So as I said, look, my mind's not going to change, Saeed, brother. It's not going to change, bro.
Mm. Yeah, big up to Born and Green. This is Gareth. I think it's perfect for Man United. A masterstroke from INEOS and Radcliffe for even entertaining the idea. You know what it is though? It's like I said to you, man. I feel like it's gonna be a very, very interesting next couple of weeks, yo. Like for me, this Liverpool win, yeah, does not change much for me. You get me? I'm happy, you know what I mean? We got the win. I'm buzzing over the moon. You know what I'm saying to you? It's something, but it doesn't change the course of the season and the way we feel as fans in the course of the season. You know what I mean, bro? Because as much as, like I said, we did absolutely well and we're into semi-finals, the job ain't done, man. You know what I mean? We still got to win the FA Cup, still got to go ahead of Man City or whoever's in there, and we still got to get Champions League football. So there's still a lot left to the season. But like I said, these little wins will give everyone a bit of a belief again. But it just shows you why can we do that consistently? That's another thing as well, because we haven't got everyone available against Liverpool. There weren't everyone available. No Casemiro, no Lisandro, no Luke Shaw, no, you know. So it just shows you this team can be able to do it. It's just that this team isn't able to do it consistently enough. And that stems from the belief from the manager or just in themselves, and just in general, the whole kind of circumstances around the club, you know, and that's something that, you know, we haven't seen enough, have we? Ultimately.
But even that Liverpool game, I didn't like the players gave great effort. Yeah, like the effort was unbelievable. But I didn't think it was a tactical masterclass from Ten Hag.
A
Like
lot of people said that, you know. I think it was euphoria and the kind of, you know, the feeling of, you know what. I think the first 30 minutes was tactics though, but after that was more the crowd and the energy and the spirit, you know. I think it was more to that
yeah,
really.
Liverpool. No, we started well, 100%. But Liverpool started slow, man. They started slow, and you got to remember they played the big game against City a week ago. They had a midweek game. They've been playing 2-3 games a week for the last, like, we've been resting, we've been chilling. We had 8 days or 7 days between games. We started off much better than them, and then once they made some tactical adjustments, we were suffering for a good large part of that game. And I didn't think it was a tactical masterclass by Ten Hag. Like the other thing is now we've made the final of the FA Cup, or the semi-final, sorry, and likely to make the final. Does that delay the decision for INEOS? Can they make because otherwise all the other big clubs are looking for managers. If we wait until after the FA Cup final, teams have already got their managers in place.
Good.
He's like, get your stuff done early, man. We don't care.
So for example, I like Nagelsmann, yeah, like as a potential coach. He would have already, if he was going to become manager next year, he would have already signed the contract ready to go before that FA Cup final, which is, you know, a few months away, man. So what does that do? Do we do a Tottenham and sack him before the cup final, like what they did with Mourinho? Or do we wait? And if we wait, and the other thing, so listening to the podcast that he was doing goes, with Sir Jimmy goes, me and Sir Dales Brailsford, and he was going to say Omar Barada, because we talk every day. He goes, every day we're talking about what's going on at the club. He goes, you know, so he goes, they talk too much, but
they're talking, bro. They're talking.
Yeah, so they know what's up. They know all this. They know what's up. So it's going to be interesting what we do, because if we want to change managers, we're going to have to change before. They're going to have to start looking before the FA Cup. Or are they going to do it behind his back while he's still manager? I don't think they will do that. I think they're, you know, I think that's too risky, because, or maybe they do that and just allow the rumors to swirl like they are now, because I think a lot of these journalists are making up shit as well around. They know if they talk about Gareth Southgate, it's going to get a lot of clicks. It's going to get a lot of United fans going, "What's going on?" Blah blah blah. Or if they talk about Graham Potter, it's going to get a lot of clicks. And the Graham Potter links is because they asked him to become manager of Nice when a few months back, and he rejected that job. So they use that link to just. So a lot of these journalists are making up stuff. So I'm not going to take it seriously until we get concrete reports going, United are approaching this manager, or United are going to get this manager.
Absolutely. Big up to Mickey. Says, I found it difficult to believe the rumor about Southgate's appointment because I was walking through a cloud of spliff when I read the headline. Big up to Mickey. for the super chat there, guys. Keep getting your likes up, people, man. Let's get the likes up. We're currently on. I don't know how many likes we're on. Stephanie, let us know how many likes we're currently on. But let's get up to 400. We're gonna move over to Varane. Some interesting developments by Fabrizio Romano, discussing that Varane's contract is still up in the air, man. He says no confirmation of reports about new contract proposal from Man United to Rafa Varane based on appearances. Understand, Man United have not sent any new deals to propose to Varane. No negotiation taking place. Current deal expires in 3 months. Manchester United again waiting around, man. David De Gea and now Rafael Varane, man. Listen, I'm not gonna lie to you guys here. I think Rafael Varane, I would keep him for another 2 years, you know. Whether that happens under circumstances where he gets lower wages, I'm not sure. But I still think he's one of our best defenders, you know. And when I look at Lisandro Martinez, yeah, I still think Varane complements Lisandro Martinez so much. Like, people don't realize, man. He's one of the best box defenders we have, one of the best natural defenders we have. When I look at Lisandro Martinez, I think for me, elegant on the ball, can play out from the back, very, very, modern day defender. When you're talking about an out and out defender, there's not much better around than Rafael Varane. And I think for me, he's just what? He's 30. I think he's turning 31. It's soon, but still young for a centre back. It's not as if he's old. He's still got about 2-3 years left in his game, man. And like I said, we sell him and then we have to buy another defender for what, 30, 40, more than we need. I think for me, get rid of Maguire, get rid of Lindelof, you know what I mean, and keep Varane in there alongside other centre backs. You know what I mean? I just think it's ludicrous that we haven't offered him a contract. You know what I mean? It's crazy, bro. But I suppose it's the wages, isn't it? Too much wages. 340 grand a week he's on, which is a lot. You know what I mean? It's not as if it's, you know what I mean? just small money. But where are you? Let me start with Mr. B. Mr. B, what are you saying, man? Rafael Varane, keep or sell?
Keep. He's been class. Everybody talks about him being injury prone and he can't play, 2 games in a row. Maybe the fact that it's 7, there's a big gap in between. But he's played, what has he played? The last 7, 8, 9, 10 games in a row. So, fitness-wise, I don't think there's an issue. His knees, obviously, he may have an issue with his knees, but if he's willing to take a pay cut, then I think that shows a level up, because he can go Saudi and then a mega amount of money. But if he stays with us on a pay cut, I think that says that he wants to stay. It shows that he wants to stay. So if that can be sorted out, take it all day and all night. I don't see there's any issue with Rafa Varane when we've got other defenders that we can move out before him. You're crazy, man. Keep Varane.
Yeah, 100%, man. Like I said, bro, I think he's our best defender, man. And I think for me, the disrespect on injuries is you know what's bad about the injuries? Yeah, he's been more fit than Luke Shaw, Lisandro Martinez. All of these guys. He's been more fit than them. You know what I'm saying to you? More fit than Casemiro. More fit than, I don't know who else is out there. Maybe Maguire. I think Maguire's been out maybe more this season than Rafael Varane. Maybe more than Evans. I think Evans has been out a few times this season. Who else is there? Like, come on, man. Been more, probably our most fit centre back. Only the back line I would say is Dalot that's been more fit and ready. Only Dalot, I would say, is the only one that's been constant in that back line. And the idea that, United fans are looking to get rid of him, I just think it's crazy, man. The amount of comments I've seen, bro, I was like, yo, what are we doing, man? But that just shows you sell him, go and get a good centre back out there, that Premier League proven. I think there's far and few between, man. Like I said, you got Branthwaite, which is cool. I rate him highly, but after that, you're taking a risk. You know what I mean? You are taking a risk, bro. Simple as that. Simple.
Yeah, I don't think he wants to take a pay cut though. That's the problem. Would we sign him on again for? Would we sign him again for another 300? The thing is, I agree. Like, because Maguire, he's still under contract, so he has resale value. We'll get money back for him. Yeah. We had a $30 million offer just last summer from West Ham. Yeah. Or was it 25 million or something? But we didn't want to pay off the remaining portion of his contract, if you remember. The only reason he was going to go to West Ham was because West Ham weren't going to pay him 200,000. They're going to pay him 100,000, but he wanted us to cover the remaining, and we said no, and then he ended up staying. So we might get maybe 15 million. Not much. I'm not saying we're going to get a lot of money. Maybe 15 million, maybe even less than that. And also even Lindelof, we might be able to get 10 million off. Whereas Varane's out of contract, we're not going to get anything for him. That means another player that we paid 40 million for leaves for free. And I don't think he wants to go back to Saudi. He spoke about, he goes, I might go to RC Lens, which was his boyhood club. He goes, I might retire there, or I might retire at United. Like, he didn't talk about it. I don't think he wants to go to Saudi. And I don't even think he's got crazy offers.
Saudi, man.
Sorry?
He's too good for Saudi, man. He's too good for Saudi, man.
He's still young, yeah? He's still young. The other thing on injuries is, watch players on their last year on their contract. Their injury rate is much better than players that have just signed a new contract. It happens all the time, man. It happens all the time. So I reckon if we sign him to a 2-year contract, or maybe it'll be okay if we sign him to a 1-year contract. But if we sign him to anything longer than that, he'll be out injured all season. Like, look at Luke Shaw. He's out. He's injured all season. It's going to be so. Yeah, I still like him as a player. He's got some deficiencies, but he's a really good defender. I would keep him and get rid of the other ones, because you can't get rid of everybody at once, man. That's the thing. If we would like to get all these new defenders, we can't do that. It's not possible. So you got to keep some players that are good for the squad. And I think Varane you keep for sure.
100%, man. 100%. You know what it is in me, yeah? I feel like it would be a big mistake, especially with the leadership qualities. You're lacking. You look at this squad, Yabo. They're lacking. The leadership's not that great, man. Everyone's their head down. He's not playing for France anymore. He's retired from France. That gives you a little bit of element there. He's settled here. To move around with his family, it's going to be a lot, man. United, is it one of them situations where United let go another player that on a free contract where you're like, oh, man, you left it on a bad taste, man. You know what I mean? Like, because it's happened before. Like, David Hay one didn't really go the way it planned. Let's be honest. Like, the way it went, it wasn't good, man. We could be in that similar situation where come end of the season, no contract's been offered, and it's like, yo, you've been pushed into a corner, and that's not good, man. End of the day, we don't know if David De Gea wanted a pay cut or not. We still not heard from him yet. He may have wanted it, but obviously it was vetoed by Ten Hag. So it's one of them where you don't like it when United do this, man. It's not great look, man. When you let
it speaks volumes about the state of the club, because we've let him De Gea go. But when we look at De Gea, no one's really complaining anymore. We've had a bit of an up and down with Banana, but now he's settled.
No, but still don't make it right, though. Still don't make it right.
It might not make it right, but then you have to look at the structure of the club. What's wrong with the club that we allow players to run out their contract like that? That's what's happened in the past. Hopefully we're fixing those things with all this great manifesto talk from the new owners, and people getting inspired by that. But we're referring to Varane. I think he's a very good player. Obviously, he's got credential coming from Real Madrid, winning the Champions League. What they call him, Champions League Varane. He's come along, but he hasn't been like smashing to me. He's not been like completely outstanding. I think 5 Champions League. This guy world class. I think we were saying on the show the other day, Evans probably been a better centre back this season. Maguire he got player of the month. He's been a good centre back this season. So I think when they're letting the contract run down, it's based on maybe his performance. Everyone's based on their performance and whether he wants to stay. We don't know. Maybe he wants out. If he's allowed his contract to run like this, maybe he wants out. Maybe he's not interested. So we don't know. We can only speculate. But I'm talking about a squad game. If you want to get stronger, we need players like Varane around with experience, granted, But I don't think he should be a certified first-team starter. Based on what I'm seeing, Evans played well this season. Maguire as well. He's even playing Luke Shaw centre back. We've got Martinez as well. We buy another centre back to come in, then we'd be really strong in that department, But obviously with the FFP, you have to consider selling players or get rid of players or reducing the wage bill. So I understand that. So it's a big decision to be made. But I will say this: as much as Varane is, his stock was up there when he first came, seeing him play for Man United, I don't think he's been a big transformation or helped us in any way to be like more secure. You talk about leadership. You mentioned leadership earlier. I think we do have a lot of leaders. We've got like vice captains of the national teams. I don't know if Lindelof is captain of Sweden or not. There's other players as well. Eriksen's a leader. We've got Casemiro, captain of Brazil. You know, there's a lot of players out there that do have leadership skills. It's just that we don't know how to define the captaincy these days. We think captaincy should be, you know, drawing blood, you know, every week, and, you know, breaking your nose and putting your head in where it hurts, Brian Robson, Captain Marvel sort of thing. But there are a lot of leaders on the pitch, and I think when I'm watching the defence, I don't think Varane talks that much. I think Harry Maguire, Martinez, these are the guys who seem to organise a lot more. And for Varane, I don't know if his passing range is that great. Can he hit diagonals? Can he, you know, can he carry the ball that well? He just plays it simple, percentage passes. And I think beyond defending wide areas, which does really well. You said he's crucial in the box, commanding. I don't know if he's as good as Harry Maguire or Evans clearing headers in the Premiership physicality that way. So
wow, yeah, I think he's better than them, honestly.
Well, yeah, it's up for debate. We all watch it. It's up for debate, but I think it's worth a discussion. And I will say this: it's crucial that they've allowed the contract to run down. That suggests to me that maybe they don't think he is worthy of him staying around.
Not on 340 grand.
Exactly.
If Varane says he's going to take 150 grand for the next 2 years,
take him.
Well, there you go. That's my point. If he wants to stay, and the club want to keep him, I'm sure there's a figure that they will both be happy with. He ain't going to get played 340 again. He don't know that already.
Well, but the thing is, though, if he thinks, he's worth just as much as Rashford is, in the team, you know what I mean? So if he's thinking, right, I'm worth at least 300 grand a week, 280, you know what I mean? And Rashford's on 350, you know what I mean? If he's thinking, you know what? I still think I'm one of the best centre backs in the league. I still think I'm quality. Keep me. You know what I mean? He might think that in his head. So you've got to understand that as well. Like, you know, these guys are like, yo, I see other players.
Got fleeced, man. We got fleeced, Said. How are we paying that much for
I know.
No, not for just for Rashford, but even for a central defender.
Yeah. No.
How are we paying?
Yeah.
Like, so we're paying how are we paying $80 million for a central defender? You know? Like we did with Maguire, how are we paying 340k and
that's
40 million pounds?
That's past.
Sorry,
that's what I'm saying that's past deals. You can't, but that's Kenyan and Wood. I'm sorry, that's Woodward. You understand? Woodward, you know what he was like. So he's not here. Yeah. So now they're trying to sort out the mess. You understand? We know why.
I know. I'm just reminiscing from all our bad deals.
There's a few.
Reminiscing, you know.
But you know what's good? Like, so people are talking about the Everton defender, but Braithwaite.
Yeah,
that's going to cost us. That's going to cost us 70, 80 million. I don't think you don't pay that much for a defender. I think that's too much for a defender. Like, you can get defenders for. It's way too much for a central defender, man. Liverpool paid 70 million for Van Dijk because he's a once-in-a-generation defender. He was a once, and it worked out for him. So that set the new standard, and we were like, yeah, if Liverpool paid 70 million for Van Dijk, let's pay 80 million for Maguire. That was our thinking at the time, because the year before, Liverpool paid 70 million for Van Dijk, and we're like, all right, let's pay 80 million for Maguire. We were so dumb, like so stupid. And Sancho was like, yeah, let's do it. And then we ended up getting fleeced, and we bought a defender that literally could not turn. You know, Maguire can't turn. Like, he's so slow, he can't turn. And we ended up getting fleeced. So, and we got fleeced with Varane, 300, that much for a central defender. He's not that. Technically, how poor does he look when he's on the ball, though, Said? You have to admit. When he's on the ball, he looks clumsy. But he's a great defender. I think he's a great communicator on the pitch. I think he talks really, like he's always pointing. I think people listen to him, but he's nowhere near that amount. And if he wants to take a massive pay cut, you keep him. Otherwise, go to Saudi.
Yeah, you know what it is? It's one of them, man. I don't know what INEOS do now. Obviously, they Omar Barada will have to look at the box, man, and decide. But Luke Shaw's on a contract. You know what I mean? He got away with one. You know what I mean? I think everyone else is Maguire's got to leave. You look at that. If them two go, Lindelof, I think will just stay, man. He's part of the furniture now, man. I think he's got a 1-year extension, so he's gonna stay 1 more year. You know, but if you're looking at that, Maguire and Varane leave, that's only Sancho. Evans, do you reckon Evans will go, or do you reckon he'll stay?
Is he part of the English? Is he part of the British player?
Yeah, the British. Yeah, he is.
These are things that people have to think about as well. If Maguire goes, they need another English player in their squad. Højlund becomes a foreign player because he's over 21, so they have to register him. He was under 20.
Okay.
So these are things that people need to fit. It's all well and good us saying get rid of Maguire. Well, okay. Maguire goes, Braithwaite's going to be the only natural English or British replacement.
Yeah.
That's 70 million. You know, we want to get rid of Scott McTominay. That's another English player. English tax. We paid 55 million for 1 foot mount. So imagine what we're going to have to pay to replace a
What do
player
you call him?
1 foot mount.
Yeah. Why is he 1 foot?
He may as well have 1 foot. We haven't seen him play.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Nah, listen, man.
Apparently he came on the weekend. Apparently he came on. I didn't realize until after the game. I'm like, oh, Mount's on the pitch.
Yeah, Mount. Oh man, please, man. Seriously, man. What a waste of signing, man. I don't rate that signing at all, man. But we'll see. The next season might be his season. Next season, he might look at him differently. But ultimately, right now, it's a shocking signing. I wanted to move on to on Jadon Sancho, man, because that's another one that is we're still discussing the fee. Borussia Dortmund and Man United are due to hold talks about Jadon Sancho in May to discuss a possible next deal. The most likely scenario would be another loan. There was a Plettenberg was talking about it as well. The situation as well. It's still undecided, but he's looking to stay at Borussia Dortmund rather than come back. You know, what would be a suitable signing? Would you want another loan, or does everyone want their money back? What are we saying, guys? Are we looking to keep him on? What's the latest, man?
So it was interesting. There were reports today that Sancho was gutted with the way his time at United ended.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I think he was. Yeah. So I've always been Sancho out, but I do like. I also put a bit of blame.
Why? Let me know your backstory. Why are you Sancho out?
Because, like, first of all, he's had plenty of time to show us what he's got, and I never saw it at United. That would be the starting point. Like, if he showed glimpses, and I'm like, oh, Ten Hag's the one that's holding him back, blah blah blah, then I could probably sympathize. The other thing is, when you're a professional footballer, you're not going to get it. You're not going to like your manager all the time. They're going to be unfair to you. Like, the idea that a manager cannot have favorites completely doesn't make sense to me. It's your job to get in the manager's good books. That's your job. That's how it's always been. Managers are not going to like you. It's like, you know, Sir Alex Ferguson, he used to make players sell their cars if he didn't like the look of the car. He'd go to Kieran Richardson. He's like, that car's too much. I don't want to see that character again. So players would have to get rid of their cars for him. Like, he would have these favorites. He'd have players that he liked. That's how managers are. Your job is to make sure it's okay for the manager to have favorites. That's his job. He'll like whoever he likes. But as soon as you got you had an issue with Ten Hag, what I didn't like was that he gave up. He basically gave up. That's like, you know, you can have an issue with Ten Hag, and maybe Ten Hag was unfair to you. Let's just give him that. Let's say Ten Hag has been completely unfair. He treated Sancho differently to the other players for whatever. He didn't like whatever about him. He treated, but you can't give up. And as soon as you give up and you just stop choosing to play, that's what he lost to me, man. Like, bro, don't give up. Like, you have to fight it through. Waiting till he gets sacked, but do whatever. Show up every week, and then things start. You know what happens? Things start turning around for you, man. But he left the team. If you remember at the time, we had so many injuries.
No, but
he left the team high and dry.
I do believe though that day triggered Sancho to say what he said. Though I feel like he maybe had his head down, because you remember pre-season he was our best defender. You know, pre-season, so best attacker in pre-season. He played well in that false 9 role. Then got told Rashford's playing number 9. Then he was training. Obviously, we don't know the ins and outs of what happened in training, but you're looking at it, you thinking to yourself, hold on a minute. Like, he then, obviously, Ten Hag said he wasn't training well, and he didn't like the fact he was training. And he come out and said, no, that's false, you know, and he defended his name. But then I feel like that day was a day that I think triggered everything. And I don't think he was a quitter. I just feel like he probably thought, hold on a minute, this guy's probably lying on my name here. What's going on? You know, and I want to defend my name. I'm not a quitter. I'm not a, you know, I train well. I do. But he
quit. So he quit. Side. He stopped playing for United after that post. It's the post was wrong. But if he really, really wants to play for United, he goes talk to Ten Hag. He says, "I'm sorry," whatever. Even if he doesn't believe it, Roy Keane was saying this. He goes, "You don't have to believe it. Just say it so you can get back on the pitch."
True.
Yeah.
And he goes, just say it, get back on the pitch and show what you can do. You know, you don't have to. You can think this guy is the worst human in the world. You might want to kill him. If it was just between you two, you might want to kill him. But that's okay. But you can get back on the pitch and play football. And United fans are forgiving, man. You can do really dumb shit. Rooney used to do really dumb shit. We forgive him. Even Rio did silly stuff, and we forgive him. We don't care as long as you perform on the pitch. You can have a bender like Rashford. United fans will forgive you as long as you perform on the pitch. You know, like we don't care about that stuff. You know, like so he called Ten Hag out over social media. Go apologize the next day. Get back on the team. That's what I mean. He gave up, and that's when you lose respect for him because I think he didn't want to deal. This is my actual. I don't think he loved because he was copying a lot from the fans. If you remember, over the fence for his lack of effort, he looked a little unfit. His work rate wasn't that great because he's a bit of a luxury player. Like if he likes to float around, and then you got Rashford on the other wing, we were getting murdered by teams with them two playing in the team. If you remember the best example is that City game where we lost at home or at their ground. Sorry, we lost 6-3. Remember that City game we lost 6-3?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were playing both. The work rate was unbelievably bad. When you compare it to what we did on the weekend, when Garnacho's work rate's unbelievable. But that's the standard every club. We were so far off in terms of the work rate and the standard. And having them two on there, it was terrible. And he didn't want to deal with the pressures. This is my opinion. He didn't want to deal with the pressures of playing for United, especially because he wasn't playing well and he was copying it. Every game, he'd open up his phone, there'd be 10,000 messages saying, you're shit, you're not working hard, all that stuff he was saying, and he was copying it over the stands. Like, I think he didn't like, whereas in Dortmund, everything he reads is in German. He doesn't even understand. Like, who cares? It didn't matter to him. It didn't matter, so it was so much easier. The life's good there. Life is great in Germany compared to playing for Manchester United. The pressures and the demands is unbelievable. And I think he was young and he didn't know how to deal with it. He probably didn't get enough help from people around the club, the manager, all that stuff. And in the end, he gave up, and that's why I lost respect for him.
Look at Oli with the interview. He said he wanted to play on the left, and Rashford wanted to play on the left. So we didn't do our due diligence anyway, in that regards. But I mean, what's a respectable fee? I think we're hearing about 30 million. You know what I mean? Yaba, what's a respectable fee for you to get back? We paid 72. What would you want? You know what I mean? For Jadon Sancho again.
I'm not into the finance. We just have to manage this situation the best way we can and get behind the manager. The manager put his laws down. This is what we expect from the players. If you break that, there's going to be discipline, and that's what we need. That's what we definitely needed at the club. And we saw it with Ronaldo. We saw it with Rashford. We saw it with Greenwood. We don't want bad characters at the club. We want people who are going to be in line with what the manager does. And that's where the people above need to back him with this. So with Sancho, I love him, talented player. I really wanted him to succeed at Man United, but he's transgressed the laws of Ten Hag, and there's curses and repercussions for that, consequences for that, and he had to leave the club. He didn't want to apologise, and the manager needs to turn around in the change room and look at people he can trust. He's looking at Garnacho. He played him for 120 minutes the other day. He can trust him. Do you understand what I'm saying? So whether he's talented, he can do more kick-ups or whatever, doesn't mean nothing. It's about character. And Sancho's just demonstrating once again, the evidence is all there, that he doesn't have the character to play top flight professional football for a club. If you let him go to Juve or under Capello or all these kind of things, do try and play the arse like that. You can't do that. Ten Hag, have respect for the man. That's why the people coming through now, away with the old guard, the people coming through, Garnacho's, Mainus, all these guys coming through, they will respect the manager because they will see, actually, we know where we stand. And the manager will look at them and say, I trust you, I trust you, I trust you. But he's looking at some of these senior players who are a bit lavish, had a bit of an easy life, and they come into the club and not being professional enough and not following and not respecting how he's delivering his management. He's looking at them and saying, I can't trust you, you got to go. And as far as I'm concerned, I've got no issue with that. 30 million, if we get half the price that they were talking today, Saeed, I'm quite happy with that. Let's just move on and get players that want to play for the club and have got good character as well. That's the most important thing, because when we played against Liverpool the other day, Liverpool run and run and run and run. We matched them, and then we were able to beat them just by matching them with their running power and their effort. Yeah, we need to do that week in, week out. And like Andrew's saying there, he saw the game 6-3 when players were hiding, they weren't able to do the work. Give us characters first, and then as a team, the system will improve, no doubt about it. So Sancho has to go.
Mr. B, man, are you going to surprise us, man? What you say? Back in your South London boy? What are you telling me?
I ain't backing him. He can get lost. He can get lost.
Wow, man.
Ten Hag don't pay.
This is what happens, man. You get too behind the manager. You're not thinking logical, guys, man. You have to think objective. Come on, guys.
You love Sancho, don't you, say? Tell us about your love for Sancho.
You know what it is? No, hold on a minute. I need to tell you, all I don't like here is the fact that people are choosing sides. I just look at it from a point of view of, why can't Sancho defend himself? That's the way I kind of looked at it. From the get-go, I said, let Sancho defend himself, and that's it. We keep it moving. But this idea of back the manager, back this, back that, I'm like, listen, back what? He defended himself, and the manager said what he had to say. Simple as that. I don't say the manager was wrong, but then equally, you don't say the player was wrong. Keep it 100. That's what I do.
Okay, so
at United, at United and Liverpool, just quickly, at United and Liverpool, and we've always, that's how it's always been.
Which ones? Tell me which ones.
Beckham.
What do you mean?
Tell me which ones, though. The Beckham one was different, though. The Beckham one was, he threw a boot. And to be honest with you, you know what I mean? It was like the kind of godfather figure, you know what I mean? Like, they were always going to respect the boss. But in reality, Ferguson said he was wrong. He should not have threw the boot. Who else is there that, you know, we backed
Van Nistelrooy.
Yep, Stam. Fergie regretted it. So that's another one Fergie regretted. Because he said it in the overlap. He said, I probably should not.
Yeah, but we still backed him. It was the manager over everything. I'm not saying he was right on everything. We back the manager. The manager is king. The manager has always been king at United. That's how he has the right to choose favourites. He has the right to lose his shit at players. He's our manager.
Shall I tell you what I backed here? When Ronaldo came out and did the interview, I backed the manager. I said, listen, that's wrong coming out doing the interview against the manager and calling him out wrongly. Yeah. I said it with Piers Morgan. I said it was wrong to do it on national television. That was wrong. But some of his statements were actually true, by the way. So I can retract some of the statements, but I will say on everything included, he did it for selfish reasons because he wanted to leave. So I understood that. But I think at that point there, I will not take it away. At that point there, I did back the manager. But this one here, come on, man. You know what I mean? People say he was entirely right. It's true. It could be entirely right. You know what I mean? It depends on how you look at things and whatnot. But ultimately, you know what I mean? I think I stand by what I say. Big up to AJ Jamison. If there's a new manager next season, might as well give another chance under a new manager. If there's a new manager next season, might as well give him another chance under a new manager. You mean that?
Do you think Sancho, if we gave him another chance, let's say, does he have it? Do you think he's got it to actually perform week in, week out, to graft, to defend, to
if he has the right system? Yeah. If the system is correct, I think he can do.
You got a lot of faith, Saeed. You have a lot of faith.
We build our team around Sancho.
Sorry?
You say that we build a team around Sancho?
No, I don't say build a team around Sancho. No. Definitely not.
No way. You can't disrespect the manager like that. You can't do that. Leave us. We're all fans here, and you're moaning. As the manager's fault, we're in sixth place or whatever. We're struggling to get top 4. When we got a talented player like that who said, "Nah, I'm not on this, bruv," and you guys are forgiving him. I can't believe this.
I didn't forgive him. I don't forgive him though.
I agree, bro. I agree.
The thing in the Bible says there's structure for the family. The head of the house is the man, and then the head of the man is God. You know, that sort of thing. There's a structure with things. That's how you build things. In life, there's so many dysfunctional families because people want to bicker, moan. There's got to be rules. There's got to be discipline. And we're being all like little spoiled kids and moaning and taking the side of the kid. Oh, what's that? Let me listen to you. Let me cut your toenails. Let me worry about this. Forget that. Listen to the manager. This thing, discipline's gone out the window. Everyone's moaned about Sancho. He let us all down here. He could be playing for us, giving us points.
Not me.
And no one's saying nothing about this on the show. I'm shocked, Saeed. I'm really shocked. You don't have that.
You know what?
I agree, bro.
Let me hear from Mr. B. I haven't heard Mr. B anyway. Mr. B, what are you gonna say? Because obviously you didn't hear Keller say what you're gonna say.
I said Ten Hag don't pay his wages. Man United pay his wages. Yeah, he took down the tweet after it had 60 million views. Blood, he could have taken that after an hour. Even if you're vexed and you leave it up for 2 days, you don't leave it up for a week. You don't leave it up for a week. So he didn't want to play. He knew what the repercussions was. You understand? And now he's in Germany. Stay in Germany. Stay in Germany. If Dortmund don't want to pay, get him off. He's already on a wedge of money anyway, so you may as well sell him. We're going to be on a loss. We're going to be on a loss. If we could get 30 million for Sancho, take the money. Don't worry about no swap deal with no player that they're offering. Don't worry about nothing. 30 million is what they want, take him. They can deal with him on 300 or whatever he's on, 250 a week. They can work out how to reduce that. Get him out the club. Get him out the club. I've no interest in Sancho. I love it. When he came, it was like, yes, we could. But he could, bro. Nah, man. I'm sorry. It's me that he's not playing for. It ain't Ten Hag. You know what I mean? It's me when you buy your shirt from DX. What's the DW, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just he don't care. He don't care, bro. My opinion is he don't.
He wants to. Sorry, you continue. Sorry. Yeah. Are you done?
Yeah.
The thing is, he wants to play when things are all good. They're perfect. Like all the. Sometimes football's a little tough. Sometimes you've got to dig in a little bit. And what did Ten Hag? If you boil it, he said based on training performance, I did not select him. Is that a criminal offence? Is that something you just choose? I'm never playing for this football club again because my manager said, based on my training performance, I'm not going to play. I didn't select him this week. He made it clearly. He knew. He said just this week because he goes next week. He's coming. That was his thinking. He goes because if you remember, he gave him 3 months off. 3 months in the middle of the season.
Thank you.
In the middle of our season.
Over and done weed in Amsterdam.
Come on, man. That was for different reasons. That was definitely for mental health reasons and whatnot that we don't know about. This was totally down to training.
So Ten Hag felt like he tried everything, Saeed. That's what in Ten Hag's mind, when he came out with that statement, it wasn't just he had one bad week of training performance and he came out and publicly said that. No, he tried everything. So there was a report, a very credible report. They had to set up Sancho's alarm clock in the morning 1 hour earlier. So he can wake up and come into training on time. Come on, bro. What are we doing here? They had to. So they're treating him like a child, man. So they tried everything. We only hear about 10% of the things that happen at the club. The other 90% we don't hear about them. So the 10% we did hear about Sancho, it wasn't good, and all he said was based on training performance. What is a good player to do? He goes, I'm going to show him. If he thinks my training performance is crap, next week, watch me. I'm going to terrorize the whole squad. That's the mentality you're supposed to have. No, I can't believe he said this about me. I'm not playing football again. If we put it that way, it's like the most ludicrous thing ever. And that's what happens because we have in Premier League football, our contracts are guaranteed. If he was playing like NFL, where if you miss a week, you're not getting paid. If his contract was guaranteed. So he's thinking, I can go clubbing, I can do whatever I want, I can party, I can take it easy, and I still get paid my full wage. And he let us all down, bro. Like if you think about like the people that go to that game, the working class people, just to not rock up, that's honestly, it's unforgivable, man. He might be a good guy, but that's unforgivable. There's no way back for the guy, man.
So you see those issues.
No, 100%.
Sorry, Ange. So you see those issues that the managers had to deal with. That's not normal. That doesn't happen every season. That doesn't happen. I haven't heard that happening in any season. So you understand the crap that Ten Hag has had to work with, and he's still doing what he's doing. You understand? You got players who don't want to play for the club. You understand? Ten Hag was playing him in the shadow, the second striker role in pre-season. He was doing it. He was playing. Something obviously happened in his performance.
That's why I said
his training performances that dropped off. And then now we want discipline at the club because the players are doing all of. We discipline the players. They don't like it, but people still want the manager out because he's no good when the players who he wants to be playing don't want to play. You understand? There's so much other issues going on that this man has had to deal with. I know I've gone round in a big circle, but there's so much other thing, and you were the one. You had to know he didn't want to play for the club. This is a player who Anthony weren't kicking a ball for 4 months because he was defending himself. So all Sancho had to do was say sorry. The day Anthony wasn't allowed to play. If he wanted to play for the club, he could have said sorry. He would have gone straight into the team. We didn't have a right winger. These are the things that he's had to deal with. You know what I mean? So I said, look, keep him in.
I'm not sure about that.
Man, when you get clouded by manager in, manager out, you don't think objectively, man. But listen,
And just one quick thing. The other thing is the only person's opinion on your training performance that matters is the coach. That's when players are like, I need to impress my.
No, but not when he's clouded by favoritism. Not when you know he has favorites in the team as well.
But that's his manager.
Hold on. You build up that trust. This is what I'm saying. It's about building trust. You want to look around and say, "Sorry, do you call us on the show because you trust us?"
Not to come and trust.
If you call someone who's irresponsible and get your channel shut down by talking rubbish, you don't trust them. You're not going to pick up the phone and say, "Yeah, you're in for the side tonight." Do you understand what I'm saying? So you've got to build up trust with players. So the manager he's going to have his favourites. The favourites are the one who he can trust and go out there, perform, and give 110%. People say McTominay out, all this kind of thing. He's not good. He can't do kick-ups. He's not good enough. But he was the one running his guts out the other day. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I'd rather go fundamentals first. Someone that you can trust with character, who can put the effort in and listen to the manager. And the manager will say, I'm picking this guy based on what he's delivering in training and on the pitch as well. Being professional, being punctual, turning up and performing. Not going out to nightclubs, not drinking in Belfast, all this kind of thing. Those things come out, he's going to discipline you. Everyone knows where they stand, and I think that's a really important thing. And I think going forward, we can't sort of be a bit slack, said, all right, come back home, all right, it's okay, go, give you your bedroom back and all that kind of thing. And he's only going to carry on the same way he was before. What will he learn? He will learn nothing. You know that. I don't know if you guys are fathers, but Mr. B's a father, I'm a father, and Saeed, I don't know, I'm not our special, but when you're a parent, you soon understand where Ten Hag's coming from. And you get out of the belt.
So what are you trying to say? Maybe that's why he went wrong. He went too militant and it was too much of the father figure, man. He didn't want that. He was like, yo, leave me alone, man. That was there. But now, listen, I think even here, look at him. Tell him again, McTominay. So I'm saying a lot of people rate McTominay, man. They don't want to see ballers shine, man, but they'll rate McTominay. You lads, do you rate McTominay? Do you rate McTominay here?
No, get him out.
I like what he stands for.
You rate him.
I like what he stands for.
Big fan of the other.
McTominay's a top player. I can't look. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about McTominay. McTominay to me is a top Premiership player. He runs. He puts effort in. You talk about guy who can get box to box, running up and down, working the channels. Listen, the guy's working the channels in the team that Ten Hag plays with the system he plays. He's the one guy who can do the work, don't work up and down. You never see him slacking, that's for sure. Technically, he might not be the best on the ball, but I would take that over anyone like Casemiro, who's not going to do the work. We do show the Man agenda where we break down how we are conceding goals. And there's always
crazy.
It's Casemiro, it's Bruno, all these guys out of position ahead of the play. You talk about this big space.
Why? That's what I'm saying. You want passion, man. We don't want a lot of passion merchants who haven't got good football IQ.
Thank you.
This guy's stayed beyond his welcome. Mr. B, man, tell him, man. What's going on here, man?
Midfielders, you can't just have a box crash in a football team. He just runs up, got his line, run up, run down, run up, like he's on the train. Going to Euston, going back to Waterloo. Going to Euston, going back to Waterloo. Ask him to pass a ball 5 yards. What does he do? Nothing. He's a midfielder. He's supposed to have. Every dog has his day, bro. He's a goal-scoring midfielder who does nothing else. When he starts the game, what does he do? He disappears. Have you noticed how much games has he scored?
Yes, facts.
Much games has he scoring? When he's a sub and everybody else is tired and he's got 30 minutes of 90-minute energy, he's going to run past players. He's going to crash into. Ask him to pass the ball 5 yards, bro. He can't do it. Hold on. You run a football team. Are you going to have non-technical players in the center of your park? You are.
Yeah, I am.
What was your result last week?
All right. Don't embarrass me like this, man, on the show, please. Don't go there. We lost badly, but
Yo,
in the
chill.
position
No,
that
no,
McTominay
don't do
plays,
that. Don't do that.
in the position that there's 3 man in midfield, the position that McTominay plays, you look at the passing stats. He's not going to get that much passing. He's the guy who's going to drag people with his running and create spaces. This is what I'm saying. So the passing is irrelevant when it comes to the team. You want to have 99% pass completion rate or whatever. That's not his role in the system that we're playing. There's 3 midfielders, 1 sitting holding, 1 number 8 that works the channels, and we got Bruno. So this is McTominay's the guy who's going to get the ball, pop it off, and he's not going to use the ball. He's
Pop it out of play.
He makes runs into the box, or he's going to drag people out of position. This is what he does really well. It's really effective. So I'm a pro McTominay player at the moment. Obviously, he's not the greatest player of all time. Brian Robson could do all that and drink and still have better ability than him. But for the time being, I'm keeping him at the club as a squad player.
Okay. Now, you know what it is? Obviously, everyone's got entitled to different opinions, but I think, like, you know what? We need to have players that can get the ball and make it moving. We need technical players, man. Especially want to build a team which, when you look at it, the reason why we're not keeping the ball, we have no control, is the likes of McTominay. They can't keep the ball. They can run around, but they can't keep the ball. And that's why we're losing the ball. We don't have control. We don't, we don't dictate the tempo. It's because of him. And he hides away from the ball as well. And that's something that cannot keep on going. So this team has to build an element of players wanting to have that pride on the ball. You can't have a Man United player who doesn't able to keep the ball for 10 seconds. Let's be honest, you can't. And he's 27, 28 now? We're not talking about a youngster anymore. He's in his prime. He's 28 this year.
Would you keep him as an impact sub side?
No, I wouldn't.
Really?
I don't want that mentality anymore.
He could be our Solskjaer, bro. He could be our Solskjaer.
Oh my God. Oh,
I think he's great to have around in the locker room. I don't think he's. Right. I think calling him a top player. No, he's a great impact sub. That Brentford game, he's made come off the bench. He'll cause a bit of chaos. He'll always have. He's not a player that will lose his crap if he's not starting. If he's not starting for 3-4 weeks, and then you bring him on, he'll still have the same energy. You need players like that in a squad, in a successful team. I wouldn't mind if you're not going to get a lot of money for him. I think you keep players like he knows the DNA of that club. Is he technically flawed? Of course he is. Yeah. If he's playing central midfield, does he hide from the ball? Of course he does. But if you bring him on as an impact sub when you're 1 down, 2 down, with 10 minutes to go, he'll have the right attitude. He'll bring the right mentality. And I think he knows the club inside out. I think you don't want to lose too many players like that. I think you keep him around the club. He'll be good for the younger players. And I think that's how you win titles. You have players. Not every player is going to play. Some players are going to they're not that great. Some players are just exactly. So he's going to be. You know what he is actually? Darren Fletcher. He wasn't that technically gifted. Darren Fletcher, but he did a job. He did a job for Ten Hag. For Sir Alex Ferguson. He would man mark players out of a game. He would do a job for him. But he's our modern day Darren Fletcher. In the right team with the right coach, if we have really good players, he's one of those guys you just keep around the locker room, keeps the mood happy. If there's an issue, he'll help resolve it. If there's a player upset, he'll put an arm around them. You need players like that. I would keep him. I would keep him just for those things. That's how you build a good culture and a good team, man.
And listen, Ange, we can sit here and we can scrutinise players. That's our job. That's what we do. We watch games. I say goes to games and watch pages harder than money. Watch them. So we can scrutinise players. But to have that total package player that can do everything, then let me know where he is, please, because we can always criticise one player. We're saying Tommy does this well, but he's not so good at maybe passing the ball. We say Casemiro, oh yeah, he's a baller, he's this and that, but he's a bit sluggish and he can't get around the pitch so much, and he dives into tackles, gets red card. So everyone we can scrutinise. I'm looking for. Tell me a complete midfielder that can do everything really well. There's not many of those guys. So at the moment, I'd rather look at the pros, and when you balance the pros and cons, there's more pros with McTominay in this side than there is cons for me.
Let's get this super chat in. Big up to Paul King Howie. He says Ferguson fell out with Yap Stam and sold him. Nobody questioned him. I know it's not Fergie, but you play for the fans and you have to play for us. Sell Sancho. King Howie, man. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. We're gonna talk differently at the end of the season, man. I'll see you here, King Howie. we'll definitely see you on this channel soon, man, because it ain't easy right now. Yep, Stan was caught drugging 6 months after leaving Pogba, and someone else got away with it because he spent 3 months in Holland. Okay, I didn't even know that, to be fair. I didn't even know that. Listen, we're gonna wrap it up here. It's been a good show. Very, different opinions on this show, man. That's what it's all about, man. Evening vibes, late vibes, what you want to call it, man. Very good show. Make sure you follow up Man United agenda, for all the agenda against certain players and whatnot. You know what I mean? You can find on there. But Mr. B and Yabba, let them know what you do, man. And when you're live and whatnot, let them know.
Yabba, I'll leave it to you.
Yeah, basically we're the Man United agenda. We appreciate you coming on the show, Saeed. Big up to you and big up to everyone who's watched the show. Big up to Ange all the way in Australia as well. It's international in the house today. We love that. We are praying and hoping on the Man United agenda that we can get top 4 and or 5th and go far in the FA Cup. At least get to the final. Beat Coventry. Big up Mark Robbins, by the way, and get to the final and maybe play Chelsea or Man City. We've got a lot to play for the rest of the season. Make sure you support all the community channels out there, guys. Give love and respect and support the players, support the manager, and then make a decision at the end of the season whether you want him or not. The negative energy that you put out there is not good. People like I know he hasn't got, like we said, he hasn't got hair, but look at the ring. Look at the picture of Ten Hag and Mr. B's profile. He's got frown lines galore, So please leave the guy, give the guy a break, and just wait the end of the season and let the qualified people make a decision on that.
Yeah, listen, I don't know, man. I don't know. But listen, anyway, big up to you as well. Big up to everyone say there. Big up Yabba. Big up to Ange, man, as always, man. Love for coming on, man.
Thanks for having me on, bro. Good chat.
Yeah, man. Good chat. And obviously Mr. B as well. Guys, we'll be back tomorrow for the Mandem Talk. I'm going to get Traps, man. Traps, you best be there tomorrow for the Mandem Talk. Where are you? We're going to talk part 2 tomorrow. Me and the Mandem talking all things Man United. Make sure you tune in 5 p.m. tomorrow. It's been a good one. Make sure you leave a like on the video, people, man. 11 more likes to 400 likes. That'll be amazing. Shout out to everybody who donated today as well. Big up to everyone. King Howie. Big up to AJ Jam and all the rest of them as well. And yeah, man, we'll see you tomorrow, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.